Hello, everyone. Thanks for tuning in once again to another episode of Safari Escapes with Kelly. And today I am chatting to Mike Varndell from Malawian in Style and Zambian in Style. Hi, Mike. How are you doing?
Afternoon, Kels. How's it? How are you doing? Good. Thanks, and you?
Yeah, good. Keeping busy and still trying to keep a bit warm in Harare. How are you? How's things been through lockdown? You managing to stay busy, I hope?
Yeah, so it's been a bit of an interesting ride, I think. COVID started really ramping up just before I got back to Malawi, and obviously was in Europe and supposed to go to ITB and all that. And I think I got back to Malawi and realized that I really needed to be more of a leader. And I think that I maybe was just, letting things happen. And I got back to Malawi knowing that, that there's only one person in our company who's going to really get us through this, and that's me. So yeah, I got back and just really started to try and motivate the team and just, got them all together and let them know that everything was going to be okay. Had a Brian saying nobody's losing their jobs, unless you, request it, that we will get through this, and, that we'll focus on things we don't have time to do. So we spent a lot of time, and I mean a lot of time, redoing our presentations, our Dropbox, making sure that every partner we work with, we've got their latest and greatest. Our presentations are really up to date. We were doing a rebrand anyway, so we're working on that. Exciting moving into 2021 with, because a lot of people obviously know we're based in Malawi, but they forget that, we also know Mozambique and Zambia like the back of our hand, and that actually we are, centrally located but incredibly connected. So a brand that, will remind people that it's not just about Malawi, but Malawi does connect with all these. So yeah, working on all those kind of things, and, there's only so much of that we could do.
Oh, nice. Well, glad that you're keeping busy. And yeah, that was going to be one of my questions I wanted to ask you. I hear you're doing this new venture with wine, and I was going to ask you about it. So that's really cool. Really exciting.
Yeah, very exciting. We had our first arrival last week, so now the job is actually to taste it all and make sure that it all fits the bill. So yeah, it's quite exciting to have a new venture and to have, I guess, a business that has a 12-month season. We all know tourism very seasonal, and to have something that'll get us through, but is also directly related to working with our partners on the ground to try and help them have better products in that department. So yeah, that's kind of where that all came from.
That's so great. Well done. That's amazing to hear. And yeah, good luck with it. And I'm sure everyone will happily take it.
Well, it's actually quite funny how it came along. I'm not going to try and say I came with this brainwave, because I didn't. I tried to order some wine. I went to buy some wine. It was so expensive. I was like, done with this. I'm going to buy some wine in South Africa and bring it up.
Yeah.
Swipe the card. Card failed at Macro. So I was like, well, fine, I'll go to the wineries. Card failed at the wineries. Emailed them. And in the process, I realized the card was failing because it wasn't linked to me being above age. So I was coming up as an illegal age. And that's why the card kept on being declined. And then obviously when I emailed them, they were like, yeah, listen, we're looking for somebody in Malawi anyway. And we were looking to expand and do something, so it all kind of fell together quite nicely. It wasn't exactly a strategic plan.
Oh, great! Well done. That's amazing. Very cool to hear. And Like, tell me, you obviously are in the bush somewhere. I can tell, judging by your beautiful background. So, where are you, and what are you up to?
So yeah, we're actually in Lwandi National Park, which is in southern Malawi. Lwandi's always been the kingpin, the star of the show for Malawi for many years. But for many years, it didn't have cats. I'll start with Majethi, because I've actually just come from Majethi, and then I'll get on to more about Lwandi. But African Parks, who've been absolute heroes in Malawi, took over management of African Parks of Majethi about 20 years ago. And literally from nothing, they came back in. They reintroduced Ellie's, black rhino, lion, leopard, buff. And the numbers in Majethi have just gone astronomically through the roof, and they've done a fantastic job. And there are 2 lodges in Majethi. So again, you have the wildlife coming back, but you don't have very many lodges. And the exciting news is African Parks have actually started getting into tourism as well. So they've taken back one of the lodges in Majethi, and they're doing a fantastic job. They've bought new everything. There's money behind it. So it's great to see, reinvestment in times like these. And then, so yeah, they did a great job with Majethi, and then they were given the contract for Lwandi and in Kota. And, even though Majethi's done so well, it's quite thick bush and the river's quite rapidy and stuff. So it's quite hard to get around and to get access to the wildlife. But Lwandi, you can really, really see the results of what they've achieved. So then they were given Lwandi. They brought back in, so since then they've actually brought cheetah and giraffe back into Majethi as well, which have done very well. The leopards have gone from 6 to over 20. The lions have had cubs a few times. So they've done really good work. And now in in Luwandi, same story. They came back in here and they reintroduced cheetah first, which went from 6 to over 20 very, very quickly. They then brought the lion back in, and recently some more black rhino from South Africa. So rhino hero, black rhino over 30. So yeah, I mean, I think initially the results we're seeing, yeah, we saw cheetah, we saw lions, we saw serval. It was really cool. But I think more recently, the real results are the numbers of plains game, and not just, the odd impala. I mean, you're seeing kudu everywhere. You're seeing loads of impala, loads of waterbuck. There's over 6,000 waterbuck in the park.
Yeah.
And, I saw pangolin last time I was here. I saw black rhino just closing the main road. So, and you've got the river activities too, the amount of bird life. There's over 500 species of bird life. And one given time, I had 4 different kingfishers, poached in different places. And yeah, so it's just really exciting. And the fact that, again, there's only three parks in the park, 3 lodges in the park. So you don't have the congestion and over-commercialization. And the price is good. So yeah, African parks have definitely come in and done a fantastic job. And we just here working from the bush for the week and, prodding away and just being in a nice environment. So I thought we'd get out of town and just chill for a bit and to get some work done. Got a T&M SIM card so I can I connect it to the laptop and do a bit of work. So yeah, that's where we are.
Wow, that is one hell of an office for a week. I would love to trade places with you, that's for sure.
Yeah, so just for those of you that don't know where Luwandi is, it's actually only about an hour and a half drive to the lake as well. So you're on the southern route, so it's a lot closer to access to the lake, whereas Majete's a lot further south. So on the route that you would typically do from, I guess probably your next question about a typical itinerary, you'd probably start in the south where Majete is, and there you've got Mulanje Mountain, which we call Malawi's Aunt's Kilimanjaro, the tea estates. I mean, so I think if people are typically on a 2-week itinerary, we get them to fly into Blantyre, southern Malawi, pick them up, get them down to Majete or Huntington tea estates for their first couple of nights. And then after that, if they don't want to do too many national parks, I'd say Majete is probably going to be our, I say third choice in Malawi, because South Luangwa, even though it's not in Malawi, it pretty much is, because it's actually the closest national park to the capital of Malawi. It's only 300 kilometers from Lilongwe. It's so accessible and so easy that on any given itinerary, we are always going to include South Luangwa, and Luwandi is the first choice. And then, of course, Majete. So, yeah, starting in the south, doing Majete, if you're going to do a third national park, the tea estates, Mulanje Mountain, which obviously touched on, Zambia Plateau, which, again, is beautiful walks, scenery. There's a dam there, fly fishing, again, eco-friendly. And then Luwandi, which is another couple of hours from there. And then the lake. So then you've got Mumba Island, Blue Zebra, Pumalani. They're all sort of an hour and a half, 2 hours from where we are now. And then normally guests would go back via Lilongwe, do a night there, or fly in South Luangwa. Again, it's a 45-minute flight from Lilongwe into Luangwa, or a 4 or 5 hour drive. So depending on budget, time frame, schedule of flights, that kind of thing. Normally our clients would go into Luangwa, and from there some would go into Lozambizi, Kafui, Vic Falls, and finish off there. And sometimes start the other way, start in the falls, come through Lozam, Luangwa, and maybe finish on the Lake Malawi if they've already done a few parks in Zambia and they don't have time to do the Luwandis and Majetes, but they want to finish on a beach destination, and that also works quite well with that short flight from Luangwa into Malawi and to finish on the lake. And very similarly, it actually connects really well to Mozambique too. From Zambia and Malawi, there's direct flight to Nampula. It's an hour flight. So you can connect from Luangwa or Malawi onto Mozambique and head up to those northern beaches. So yeah, that's something else that some people do ask for if they prefer seafood and dolphins to Malawi lake cichlids and fresh water.
Oh, beautiful. Well, I mean, that sounds like an incredibly stunning itinerary. And I can imagine it's, obviously I know like when you compare to Botswana and maybe some parts of Zambia as well, and the general safari itinerary routing, even in East Africa, it can be quite expensive. But I imagine doing Malawi and Zambia, I mean, those come in at quite an affordable rate. Is that correct?
Yeah, so I mean, you're looking at the lodges we typically work in Malawi. There isn't one lodge that's over $500 per person per night, and that $500 is at your peak of season. And then we have a lot of affordable lodges we work with in Zambia with pay stays and all that. I mean, yeah, you do have some that are on the higher end, certainly. But the other thing with Malawi is everything's so accessible and close that generally you don't really have to pay for charter flights, and so it's quite affordable to get from one place to another as well. So you're looking at a 15-night itinerary around the $5,000 mark on the higher end of the scale. So it is very good value and also less commercialized and less congested. So with that, you're also seeing less people and having the parks to yourself, and also supporting, the conservation and the amazing work that African Parks have done to put Malawi back on the map.
Yeah. I mean, what they have done and what they've succeeded with is just phenomenal. And like you say, I mean, all the wildlife that you've mentioned, it's just a phenomenal safari in itself. So yeah, there you go. You've got your big five and at a very affordable rate, which is amazing. So
yeah, definitely. I mean, yeah, and you are seeing them. You are seeing the cheetahs. You are seeing the lions. Leopards can be tougher to see. You've only got them down in Majeti and Nika. So, but that's where if you combine Luangwa, the Valley of the Leopards, you literally cannot go wrong with the amount of leopards you're going to see there. So as soon as you combine Luangwa and Luwandi, you're going to see leopard, you're going to see cheetah, you're going to see rhino, loads of bird life. And then, of course, with Luwandi, you've got the river experience too to complement with Luangwa. It's more about the walking and the game drives.
Nice. Well, it's great to hear that. And I'm sure people are very interested to know, different parts of Africa. And that's all about what I'm trying to do is, show everyone there's other options out there, just your standard routing.
Exactly.
Safari. And
and also, obviously, with you guys being our partners in Zim, it's only an hour flight from Lilongwe to Harare as well. So that Malawi-Zimbabwe itinerary, don't forget about it, because it's one that nobody ever thinks of, but it actually is really easy and a really affordable trip to do, to combine Malawi and Zimbabwe with only an hour between Lilongwe and Harare. So that's one that people don't really think about, but it actually is one we should be thinking about.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that's a fantastic, a lot of people fly into the falls as the main hub, and they could do a bit of a safari in Zim and then fly out from Harare and tag on Malawi. It's, like you said.
Exactly. So it's very easily connected too.
Good. Well, thanks, Mike. That's so nice to hear and interesting to get a bit of your expertise and knowledge. And lastly, so I generally ask a bit of a fun, quirky question towards the end of our chat. But today I am asking on behalf of Luke. He actually told me to please request something from you. He wants to know how many species of cichlids there are in Malawi and which one is your favorite. I don't know if there's a story or a joke behind this, but you're going to have to tell us.
So there's actually 800 species of cichlids in the lake. Cichlids, if you don't know, is a better known word for the tropical fish of the lake. And my favorite is the lesser spotted blue striped strengthened straightened bluefish. And that's my favorite. I don't actually know any of the names of any of the particular fish, but they're known as cichlids, and they come in all sorts of colors. I'm not going to say sizes. They're all pretty small and colorful and beautiful, and there's plenty of them, but I don't actually know the particular encyclopedia name of any of them. Okay. I can tell you that the Chambo and the Liani and some of the bigger ones that we actually catch. Yeah. But in terms of the actual cichlid itself, there's just lots and lots and lots of different colors and species. And in fact, the most amount of species of fish in any lake, freshwater in the world. So it's quite interesting on that fact.
Amazing. Okay, good. Well, I'm sure Luke will enjoy.
I thought he was actually going to ask my favorite animal because he would have seen the tsetse fly thing. So I thought that's what was coming again.
Oh, really? What's your favorite animal then? The tsetse fly.
Well, I wouldn't say. Probably a leopard, but the girls thought it was funny to put tsetse fly on the website. And then anybody that asked me why tsetse flies, I just say, listen, I'm obviously a bit of a marketing hyena, and I'm as irritating as a tsetse fly when it comes to spamming with our information. So that's why I got the nickname of the tsetse fly. So I thought that's what Luke was going to ask.
Nice. Okay. Well, there we go. We got both questions in. Cool. Thanks, Mike. Well, thank you so much for joining me today and for sharing a bit of your knowledge about Malawi and Zambia, and for taking the time to chat to me out of your beautiful busy schedule, I see.
Yeah, no, all good. It's nice chatting to you, Kels, and all the best to you guys in Zim, and regards to Luke and Suze and everybody else, and hopefully we'll catch up at a trade show one of these days, but it might be a while.
I know.
You're lucky I didn't wear my some random bar cap today, because there's a story to that one too.
Well, hopefully we'll catch up soon in person, Mike. And thanks so much again.
Cool.
And thanks to everybody for listening. And until next time, we'll see you again soon.